So one of the things that I know that we talked about was I had mentioned, I said, you know what, I feel like things are slowing down for some people. And you had a great response to that. What you said was, you know what, it's slowing down for the people that struggle with being able to get
Mm,
their point across and some of the things that they want to be able to cover versus those that can kind of, again, read the room and read the conversation and say, okay, well, I know what I want to be able to accomplish. I know that I'm talking to someone that's in a position to actually do the things that I want them to be able to do. So how do I get them from I don't know if this is something that I can do to something where it's like, okay, well, now let's figure out how to be able to take the next steps and actually be able to close the deal. So
yeah,
when
yeah.
we're looking at the external circumstances, some things become excuses like, well, things are slow. Well, there's this. Well, there's that. As someone
People
that's a
aren't
sales
spending money
coach,
right now.
yes, exactly. So someone that's a sales coach, how are you kind of guiding people through that? Because yes, there's people have slowed down. Yes, it's more about trust, but it's understanding what's missing and what you need to add into the conversation to be able to get on that list of people that are actually closing. So what is some of the advice that you're giving people to be able to kind of guide them through it as a coach?
Sure, yeah, that's awesome. So, I'm talking to a lot of people, definitely where we met through Alignable.
Hmm.
That's where I'm talking to a lot of business people right now, and a lot of these people, not everyone, but some people get on and it's straight up presentation as soon as we get on a call.
Yeah.
They're telling me features, benefits, everything they can offer me. Do I want to sign up?
Hmm.
And by
Okay.
that time, I'm just like, "Okay, I'm not connected with you at all. I don't want any part of this," right? So they're doing a lot of intellectual selling, and I think
Yeah.
this is the biggest problem right now, okay? I think this is the biggest. It's a lot of intellectual selling, meaning presentations, bonuses, features,
Hmm.
I don't think people wanna hear that, and I think when you say that, I think as a consumer, we kinda block it off, and we
Yeah.
ignore it, because we've heard it so much. So what are we gonna say to be different? I had a call with a guy yesterday, I went and looked at his house. Right before I got there, my competitor was there. Okay, so we
Hmm.
both looked at it within an hour time frame. He met both of us. They was like, "Oh, well, we'll talk. We'll be in touch with you tomorrow." So I was like, "Well, I want to hear what they had to say. So I'll call you back tomorrow too, right?" So I,
Hmm.
I called the guy tomorrow evening. I'm talking to this man, and me and him having a really good conversation. But then we get to talking the features and benefits part, right? And soon as I get into the features and benefits part, he's like, "I've heard that before. I heard that. That's not the first time I heard that today,
Right.
right?" So everything else that I said to him was emotional selling. It was getting to know this person, asking the right questions, letting him know I'm not just a salesman. The other guy was just a salesman. So when I started saying all the stuff the other guy said, he heard it all before. But
Hmm.
that's the first time he said that to me. When I was having all these other conversations with him, this man never brought up once, "Oh, I've heard that before." Because I was different, I was genuine, and I was having real conversations with him, and I think that's where we're lacking. I think a lot of people just don't know how to have a genuine conversation because we're so worried about making money, getting the sale.
Hmm.
We're really good at if you're a good salesman, you're good at helping people. Whatever product or service you have, you're really, really good at it, right? But when we get on the phone or in front of a prospect, sometimes that's out the window, like we talked about before, Sean.
Yeah.
Sometimes we lose that because we're thinking about money, we're thinking about closing the sale. But just slow it down, like you're a country boy. Slow it down
Hmm.
for a second, right? And get to know that person. Ask them some questions. I think that's the best way to do it and let them know that even if we aren't going to do business, Sean, it's completely okay. Let's just have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's see where this goes. Is that all right with you? You know,
Love
that
that.
type of world that you put them in is a whole different world than the intellectual salesman who's knocking on the door and saying, "Here's my product, buy it from
Hmm.
me. You wanna know how" listen to the stories I have of the people who it's helped. I've heard all of that.
Right.
Everybody's heard it all. It's in the sales book from back decades ago.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what you've described is the difference between what's in it for them and what's in it for the actual person that they're trying to sell to. And I believe that's one of the biggest difference makers. We're both on these calls. We do the networking sessions. We get to hear pitches
Yeah.
multiple times within one session. So it's something where I know there are some people that they'll give a pitch and I know it's a pitch and I'm trying to have a conversation.
Yep.
So it's if I say something and it throws it off remotely, I can see where they stumble because they're like, I'm so used to giving the pitch this way that they can't call that audible. They can't they can't switch it up and be able to
Yeah,
actually have a conversation. I think that's the difference in a lot of situations between someone that's a seasoned salesperson or someone that's seasoned at selling, as opposed to someone that's just kind of working their way through it. I know, and we had a conversation about it. I know from my sales days, because I don't really consider myself a salesperson anymore. When I worked at a publication, local publication, New York Press, it was something where we had $100 that we had to get through a day, and then we were also they would evaluate how long we stayed on the calls. And one of the things that we talked about when we were when I was telling you about it, we were talking about getting those reps in. And the reps are what allow you to start to be able to read the situation. And the more reps you get, the more you start to catch on to it faster and faster and faster. So when you first call someone, one of the first things I'm listening for is, does it sound like it's a good time?
yeah,
If it's not a good time, then I need to pivot into going, I'm not trying to accomplish something on this call. I'm trying to set up the second or the third call.
yeah,
So I think that's one of those things where like you have to be able to kind of read the room. So when we say read the room, that's what I'm talking about. If you call someone or you get on a call or whenever you have that interaction with them, if they seem really busy, they seem distracted, that's not the time to try to change their mind into doing what you want them to do. That means your
right,
agenda isn't necessarily aligned with their agenda. The one of the best things that you can do in those situations is to start setting it up for the next call. Okay, well, now it doesn't seem like it's a good time. So when would be a good time? Like, you seem a little off. Like, at that
yeah,
point, the way I want to lower their guard is I want to have a conversation about what's actually distracting them. Because maybe it's something that they can get off their chest and they can realize, well, I thought I was giving you my attention, but I wasn't really giving you my attention. And by acknowledging it and not taking offense to it, it helps bring someone around to the conversation where they're willing to be able to have more of a conversation with you. So being able to say, like, I know you were on a call and you said there was a guy that took a phone call. Like, there's phone etiquette, there's certain
yeah,
things that you wanna be able to read into, and if someone seems distracted, it can say, "Seems like my this might not be a good time to be have a call. Like, do you have a lot going on right now?" And then that person might go, "Yeah, well, I was trying to do this and this deal didn't go through, or I'm trying to put out fires, or I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do
yeah,
that." And in those situations, that context is something that you can use for that next call and the next call after that,
right,
because you bring something up and go, well, how did that go? How'd that work out? And it takes it from you selling to you actually taking a genuine interest in what they're doing. And that is what starts to put you in a position where you can have a genuine conversation. So I love that you covered, it's not just reading the room, it's reading the actual situation and having more of a conversation than a sales pitch.